The Army recommends food stamps for soldiers. Now, this just, as you guys know, I'm a 28-year Army veteran. This is just horrible. Now, according to the USA News, with inflation prices affecting everything from gas prices to groceries to rent, and now what's happening? Soldiers are having to resort to food stamps, and they can't get by on the budgets. So the Sergeant Major of the Army, Michael A. Grinston, he wrote some guides. Now, let me just tell you guys how this works. If the Sergeant Major of the Army is going to give written guidance to soldiers, they've thought about this. This is a big deal. It's not something he just said off the cuff. But he used it through the Army's financial readiness program. And let me just quote him here. The guidance point to soldiers, he's telling soldiers to get on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's called SNAP. We're very familiar with that. That's food stamps, okay? All right? And it's a program that provides low-income individuals with families with electronic benefits on a debit card, and they can purchase foods at retail stores. Okay? Now, the Sergeant Major of the Army is encouraging soldiers now to get this because they have food insecurity right now. The U.S. Army soldiers have food insecurity. Now, I want to tell you how stupid this is. We're probably looking, if you look at the enlisted soldiers, this probably affects about 40% of our Army, I think. Okay? Now, based on the Pentagon's own data, and this is according to the USAA website, 24% of enlisted personnel are food insecure. Now, while food stamps are a Band-Aid, the admission that we have to have this for our soldiers and families is just blows my mind. You wonder why we have this recruiting problem in the Army? And I'll tell you what has happened. The federal inflation data, let's just look at that for a second. Let's look at the federal inflation data. Inflation has risen at the fastest rate since it has since 1970. So the fastest rate in, over 50 years. The food index has increased almost 11%. This is the largest increase since May of 1979. The food at home index rose 13%. Okay. Again, the largest since 1979, since the days of Jimmy Carter. The index for other food at home rose almost 16%. Okay. Now here's what's happened, guys. The things for like fruits and vegetables, 10%. Dairy products, 15%. Think about this. So what's happened is this instead of the Biden administration to go out and say, you know what, we've got to do these are the things that we've caused here. We're just going to tell our policy is going to be hey soldier, just go get on some food stamps. We can't feed you here in the Army, so we're just going to have you and your family go on food stamps. Fox News did a segment on this the other day, and I can't remember which one it was, but they said no one ever joined the Army to be rich, and that's true. But I've got the base pay for a private is about $21,000. And here's what I'll tell you guys. Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what we can do. Imagine this. Imagine that instead of spending $750 billion on 90,000 IRS agents. Imagine now the student loan forgiveness. Imagine instead of paying off $650 billion of student loans for people that make $125,000 a year. Imagine if we just put maybe just let's just don't even do it for the officers. Let's just give the raises to our young soldiers. Let's give them about a 24% cost of living adjustment, so we can get through the 16% of the inflation adjustment, because inflation is rising so much by the time you get the next bill passed, which you probably won't do for another year or two. Okay. The meantime, soldiers are just going to be out there. The ones that are defending our country, the ones that are going out and sacrificing. You wonder why we're not getting anybody in the Army? I'll tell you what it's doing, guys. It's killing the all-volunteer force.